Good morning, everyone. It's so nice to see you. Happy Friday. I have had such a wonderful week. Seeing so many of your adorable little faces. I have been missing you so much, so this was such a treat this week. I have finished the story with you of Midnight on the Moon, and I'm so excited for that. And I have one last space book to share that I dug out of the attic, and it's Space at Your Fingertips, and we're going to just share some last few tidbits with you before we head into the ocean, because we're headed into the ocean next week. We are so lucky to live near the ocean, so this is one of my favorite units to do. So I'll have some fun stories to share and some great information to share with you next week to get us ready to adventure into the coral reef with Jack and Annie. All right, so go ahead and make sure that you have your dry erase surface and you have your eraser and your dry erase marker. I have a new riddle for you today. And before we get started with the riddle, let's share the news. So I want you to think way back to when we were learning in the classroom all together. And I want you to think of some of the math games that we used to play. And share with somebody what one of your favorite math games was and why it was one of your favorite math games. And maybe your families can figure out a way to create one of those math games at home. Some of the things that I loved to play in the classroom with you was Market Farm Stand, where you would get to do the ordering. Or I loved playing Uno with you. Or I loved playing Memory. I loved playing like Make 10 and Make 5 Memory, where you lay out a grid of playing cards, and remember you just flipped over and put the two numbers together to see if they added up to 5 or up to 10, and you got to keep those. That's always a fun game that you can play too if you have a deck of playing cards. All right, so go ahead and share the news when the video is over, and I also want you to talk about when the video is over to help you remember how we look at two different stories and we compare them. And we talk about the things that are the same and things that are different about them. So I want you to think about all the things you read about on Midnight on the Moon and all the things you read about when we read Sunset of the Sabertooth, the two stories that you've heard when you've been home. And I want you to think of some and make a list of some things that are different. And then I want you to challenge yourself and maybe think of some things that are the same about those two stories. Maybe some of the characters are the same. So go ahead and talk about that with your family when you're finished with the video today. All right, here is my riddle for you. What kind of bow can't be tied? Listen again. What kind of bow can't be tied? Say it with me. What kind of bow can't be tied? Get your skywriters up. You ready? What kind of bow can't be tied? Dot. All right, go ahead and get your lines ready. Remember, if I'm going too fast for you, that's okay. I can't see you, so I don't know how fast you're moving. So go ahead and pause the video and really work on all the sounds and word patterns and memory bank words that you can remember in this message. You don't have to try and keep pace with me, okay? So think about your message. Get all your sounds, word patterns, and memory bank words down. What kind of bow can't be tied? I'm going to do my lines. Good. Good. Check my lines with me. Even if you're not ready, that's okay. Check my lines with me. What kind of bow can't be tied? All right, you go ahead and get your work done. And when you're finished, I want you to check your work and make sure that you have these memory bank words and these word patterns. Let me show you. Okay, so there's only one word pattern today and 3 memory bank words. So your 3 memory bank words are what, of, be. And the word pattern I want you to make sure you have is that trickster. And today you're going to hear it in the word bow. Make sure you're going to hear the word pattern bow. O in bow. And then make sure that you have your question mark at the end to show that you're asking a question. What kind of bow can't be tied? And when you're finished, ask your families for the answer. All right, so a new secret message for you. This one was from me, not from Guinness today. Oh my goodness, lots of lines. Let's see how many messages here. Ooh, I see an excited mark, an exclamation, and I see a question mark. So it looks like we have 2 messages. We have lots and lots of lines here. All right, so I'm going to start filling in our word patterns. Okay? All right, we got some word patterns there. Our word patterns today are ill, ink, ill. Ooh, lots of ills. Ill. What's this one? E. Good. And this one? Ooh. Good. Now, I'm going to just build those words with you right now. Ready? Before we do any memory banks, let's build these words. So this is the word pattern ill. Put this sound in front of it. What's the word? Will. Good. This is your word pattern ink. Put this team in front of it. What's it say? Ink. What is it? Think. Good. Word pattern ill. Put that sound in front of it. Will. Good. Just like up here. Guess what this one's gonna be? Will. Good. Oops, I erased my E pattern here. Build that word. Hit the E pattern. S, E, C. Good. Last one. That's our oo pattern. Put that sound in front of it. T, ooh, two. Nice job. All right, let's check out some memory bank words. How about this one? We. Good. How about this one? G-O, go. Nice job. Ooh, here's a memory bank word. Excellent. Who are we talking about? I. Good. You know this memory bank word? We. Good. Oops. My mistake. It's not that memory bank word. It's this one. It. Good. It will. You had this one in your message today. Be. Good. Here's that A-N-D. And. You know this one. We. Excellent. All right. So, look at all those words that we filled in with word patterns we know and memory bank words that we know. Not too many words left over. The first word I'm going to give you, it's one of our question words, like what, when, where. This is the word, the question word, where. Excellent. And we're going to do this one sound by sound. Ready? Next. Next. What's the word? Next. Good. Let's read that whole top message. Ready? Where will. Good. We go next. Ooh, good. Keep reading. Ink. What is it? Think it will be, and we're going to do sound by sound on this one. 3 sounds. Ready? W. Et. What's the word? Wet. Good. I think it will be wet. And we will see, and I'm going to give you this word here, animals. Animals too. Good. So I just told you we are going into the coral reef with Jack and Annie. So where will we go next? We're going to go deep into the ocean, and we will see some animals while we're there. All right. Go ahead and erase your boards. Get nice and cozy. Use that whole body listening that you've been practicing. I love the way you practice it when we're working together on live video too. All right, and here is exploring space at your fingertips. Ooh, I wonder what planet is that one on the front cover. It's that one with icy rings all around it. I think it looks like Saturn. Okay, so let's take a look. Here we are. I'm going to turn this and see if maybe I won't have such a glare if I go away from the window. Let's see. Our home in space. Earth is the planet we live on. From space, it looks like a beautiful blue and white marble. Most of the Earth is covered with great oceans of blue water. The swirls and patches of white are clouds, snow, and ice. The brown is Earth's land, made up of large areas of rock and soil. The living planet. Earth is the only planet we know that has living things. People, plants, and animals can live on Earth because it's not too hot and it's not too cold. It also has plenty of water to drink and air to breathe. Both things, living things, need to survive. Our moon, where Jack and Annie just came from. The Earth's neighbor. The moon is Earth's closest neighbor in space. It's a ball of rock that's about 1/4 of the Earth's size, so about 4 moons could fit inside of our Earth. Although it appears to be the largest object in our night sky, the moon is actually much smaller than a star. It looks bigger because it's closer to Earth than any of the stars. So what's the moon like? The moon is an empty place with no air. I think Jack talked about it looking just like a gray rock, right? Doesn't have any water, and it doesn't have any living things. Its surface is covered with dust and millions of holes called craters. You remember what makes the craters? That's right, the giant chunks of rock in space called meteors that crash into the moon. The phases of the moon down here at the bottom, when the moon looks like it's changing, right? We talked a little bit about that. You might have made a moon journal last month. Phases of the moon. The moon does not make its own light. It only lights up from the sun. If you watch the moon every night for a month, it seems to change shape. That's because the moon travels around the Earth once every month in a path called an orbit. You know that word. As the moon orbits the Earth, we can see only the part that is being lit by the sun. That's why we see different parts of the moon. It looks like it's changing. The sun is our star. The sun is just one of billions and billions of stars in space. It's so big that more than 1 million Earths could fit inside of it. But some stars are much bigger than our sun. It just looks bigger and brighter because it's closest to Earth. Day and night. When the sun rises and sets, it looks like it's moving around the Earth, but the Earth is actually moving around the sun. The Earth spins like a top and makes one turn every 24 hours, which is one day. When the place where we live faces the sun, it's daytime, and when it's dark, it's nighttime, because we're faced away from the sun. Like other stars, the sun is a giant ball of hot, glowing gas. The sun is very important to us. It gives us heat and light that plants, people, and animals need to live and grow. Without the sun, there would be no Earth. Here's our solar system, our amazing solar system with our planets of the sun. The sun's family. The sun and all the objects that travel around it form our solar system. Earth is one of the planets that orbit the sun. The time that the planet takes to go around the sun is 1 year. Earth's year is 365 days. The near planets. The planets closest to the sun are Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. All 4 of these planets are hard and rocky. Mercury looks a lot like our moon. Venus is the hottest planet. It's covered with poisonous clouds. And Mars is a desert with rusty red sand. The distant planets are made up of Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and they're made up of gas. They're giant planets. Jupiter is the largest. It's so big that 1,300 Earths could fit inside of it. Saturn is the second largest planet, and it's surrounded by beautiful rings. Pluto, remember, is our dwarf planet, and he's the smallest and coldest, and is made out of rock and ice. And remember, he got knocked out of orbit, so he's not even in our solar system anymore. He just travels. He's just kind of floating around out there. Now, here are those beautiful constellations I got to talk about a little bit this week. The starry sky. The stars are always in the sky, but in the daytime it's too bright from the sun for us to see them. The stars we see at night look much smaller than the sun because they're so far away. Long ago, people who watched the sky, or called sky watchers, thought groups of stars formed pictures of people, animals, and other things. These star pictures are called constellations. And there's that Orion the hunter that we talked about, and we often see the 3 stars of his belt. And this is Draco, the dragon. Here's the Great Bear that Orion is sometimes talked about hunting. And here's Little Bear. And Big Bear is part of our Big Dipper. And Little Bear is part of our Little Dipper. And we usually see those in the night sky. And here, Milky Way galaxy. Millions, billions, and even trillions of star groups together form galaxies. Our solar system is just a tiny little part of a pinwheel-shaped galaxy called the Milky Way. Let me show you so there's no glare there. Very cool. All right, my friends. Well, that finishes our space unit. So, whew, we have learned a lot about space and traveled to the moon with Jack and Annie. So go ahead and hang up that space suit and hang up those space gloves and the cool air tank that you carried around with you so that you'd be able to breathe out there, and get ready to journey into the ocean in something called a mini submarine. Very exciting. All right, my loves, I will see you next week. And look for a new email with an interactive PowerPoint or interactive read aloud for you to share with your families. And we can start learning about the ocean together. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a very, very, very happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there that are working extra, extra hard. Boys and girls, take good care of your moms this weekend. They deserve it. I love you all. Bye-bye. Bye for now.